The most expert people I know in AI are the ones with the least confidence about what is happening right now. And so together, we're all trying to shape this understanding live as it's happening. So I think in that way, it's a lot the same. I teach at Berkeley, and so I have some limited amount of understanding of the educational setup and a parent of teenage kids. And so that's how I relate to all this.
What do you teach at Berkeley?
I teach in the business school. I teach 2 courses, one on the business of media and the other on leading an organized or organizing workforce, because I spent a bunch of time with organized labor. So, I'm a VC at Bloomberg Beta who believes that AI is the most important technology trend that's affecting our world, and workers organizing is the most important human trend that's affecting at least our economic world, our working world. And so those are the areas where I spend time.
Excellent. Yeah, I would love to dive into that. Putting on your hat as, there's so much that I was thinking about what to talk with you about. I want to start with actually just sort of like the most recent stuff that I've been obsessed with, and I'm curious if you've had a chance to think about it. So first, Bureau of Labor Statistics. They published, I think it was in February, but
Do they still publish statistics?
Well, this was in February, so this is that question will have to be answered sort of in real time. I don't know if this is like an official update to their stats. I'll be honest, I'm not extremely deep into BLS's sort of the arcane details of how BLS works, but they basically published this update to some of their projections to incorporate AI. And the thing that jumped out at me was they're predicting, I think, like 18 to 19% growth in computer science jobs over the next 10 years, which stands in stark contrast to what I have heard from folks who are really on the front lines of this technology and their expectations about the impact it's going to have on unemployment. Hot take. I don't know if someone were
all employment predictions are stupid.
Yeah.
The BLS, as last I recall, took current trends and just extrapolated. They have been wrong many times, but that's because prediction is really hard. And, one of the reasons why it's so hard is, first of all, you have 2 effects. You have an income and substitution effect for the economists. It's basically like you make it easier to be a software developer and make software developers more productive. There are reasons to think you might want fewer software developers because each one can do more. And there are reasons to think you might want more because you want more software developers compared to marketers or something like that. And so both of those effects happen at the same time. But the other thing that happens is work constantly gets redefined. What a teacher does today compared to what a teacher did 30 years ago, many of the things are the same and some of the things are different. And so the faster we do these things, these changes, the more we relabel. Like, what is a software engineer today versus 10 years ago? It's a different kind of a job. By the way, it's a different job now from what it was a month ago. And so, meaning the AI tools have been improving that fast. And so I don't know how to make predictions about it. And I'm not even sure why they matter. Like, let's say I told you that we were going to have 10% more software engineers and not 10% less or something like that. How much would it affect things? I'm just not sure.
I think it would affect things. Surely if you're a junior in high school,
okay,
and you're trying
what job should I prepare myself for?
Well, and also, should I take on $50,000 of debt per year to go to a tier 2 computer science program?
Totally. And I think the answer to that is as hard to answer now as it was to answer 5 years ago, which is honestly, I just don't know in a lot of cases. And one of the things that I believe is happening, and this is a place where AI can be very helpful in a learning environment, is, the old model, the model that I went to school under, is first you learn and then you do. You prepare yourself and then you do the thing. The tools have become so good that there's no reason why learning and doing should be so divorced from each other. So I look at schools like, I think we've talked about this high school for entrepreneurship in Fresno, the Patino School. Those students graduate with businesses. That is wild. When I look at a tool like Replit, we were investors in Replit. Replit started out as a learning tool. We are investors in Replit. Started out as a learning tool for classrooms to learn how to code. Now I just type in plain English what I want the software to do. And it does it. It makes it, and I have to learn how to do that. It's not automatic. I have to learn like the way you learn riding a bicycle. But so my own kids ask me, what job should I go for? And I'm like, I honestly don't know. But I think the
Of all parents, so this should give solace to parents who feel like they don't know the answer to the question, because
none of us knows.
Roy Bahat doesn't know.
The only answers that I think are true are either true by luck or they are bullshit. And so what I tell my kids is learn how to make your own money, learn how to continuously improve your own skills, because I just spoke to a group of HR professionals yesterday, and this learning and doing thing has lots of in the workplace analogs, which is it used to be you got to the workplace and you expected your employer to teach you how to do your job. You went to training sessions, and of course all that is still true to some extent, but it is the people who will themselves learn how to use the skills and be, I call this in the terms of use of technology, being the CIO of your own life, the chief information officer of your own life. If you're the person constantly doing that, I mean, somebody on that panel described Perplexity, which is a company that we in tech know well. It's a search engine that I use as an alternative to Google because it looks things up and finds the articles on the internet using AI and then writes a summary. It's like what I want Google to do. And somebody on stage called it that P company. And I almost laughed because it's like the level of knowledge that those of us have who are paying attention to trying to improve the skills and the level of knowledge others have is just really different. And so I think my advice...
They couldn't think of the name.
What's that?
They couldn't think of the name.
Yeah, it wasn't even couldn't think of the name. I mean, it was more that it struck them as some newfangled tool that had just come out when it's been part of my core workflow for 2 years. Like I wouldn't forget the name of Gmail. And so, to me, the advice to students is going to be less about which job title and occupation do you choose and more about skills that will be robust across different occupations. And so is it worth learning computer science? I definitely think it's worth learning. Is it worth taking $50,000 of debt to do it? That I can't speak to because that gets to like your family's financial circumstances. And so I'm not going to say, yes, it's for sure worth it. You should do that because I just don't know.